Stay Alive is a survival horror tabletop role playing game with elements of violence, emotional trauma, biological infection, and may include other mature content or themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Government officials insist that this is an isolated incident difficult to damage the brain. Event will perhaps we will continue to keep you informed.
Picking up where we left off, the survivors from Rescue Station Delta had begun to make their way east, pushing forward through the desert, and ultimately finding themselves on the borderline.
Overlay.
Finding themselves on the borderline between where they had started and the push towards Las Vegas. On their journey there, Rose Montgomery had both been attacked by a Zerk shot as part of a pursue and escape, and ultimately been patched up by the party's former Coast Guard companion, Arthur. Josie and Justin largely avoiding any kind of serious physical hindrance during this time. The four of our survivors carried on until encountering a barricade. The barricade seemingly and quickly revealed to be a trap placed by a group of survivors calling the base of the drop-down mountains their home, and ultimately leading to a scuffle wherein Art tried to wrest the gun from one of their hands as Josie retrieved a weapon from the nearby roadside and ultimately was caught. While this was taking place, survivors Justin and Rose found themselves waiting back at the car, observing from a distance, when they discovered that their location, placement, and precautions had either been experienced previously by this group or accounted for in this instance, and they too found themselves less overtly assailed, as they were both forced from the vehicle and led towards the trunk of their car. Only 100 feet away, Arthur and Josie now were dealing with a rather contentious Cassidy, on the very cusp of possibly being let go, light much of their resources. Josie opted to fire the newly discovered weapon, only to unfortunately discover thereafter it did not have ammunition. Incensed or otherwise, led to believe that there was no resolution to be found or had, Cassidy fired the gun he was holding over Art's back, and Josie watched as Art quickly expired. Unfortunately, our survivors are not out of the thick. And now you find yourselves in a rather heated situation where danger has not only presented itself but proven lethal. Rose and Justin, you've been led to the back of your vehicle by a couple creepy individuals, one now with a clown mask pulled up over their head, and the other with a pair of large dollar store sunglasses and this intimidating facade of cartoonish mayhem. And as you reveal the contents of the trunk, Justin, Jamie, the only one of your two assailants that you've thus far identified, has suggested that you and Rose climb into the trunk of the vehicle. Before we pick back up with Josie, why don't the two of you tell me what happens next?
I think I will glance very quickly at Rose as I do, just kind of shifting my posture slightly before I say, I'm sorry, and swing my bag of rocks for the individual behind me as hard and fast as I can. I'm aiming for the side of the head, try to one hit, knock him out.
Go ahead and make an effort to brawl with your assailant. And they actually, probably get my dice, huh? They are also actually going to make a separate effort. Go ahead and roll.
I would like to make this a well-prepared roll.
If you would like to use your well-prepared, you can do so, yes.
I will use my well-prepared because I have a bag of rocks specifically for this purpose. That is a 12 brawl.
Okay. So as you rear back, immediately corkscrewing your body towards your assailant, as you actually see the small machine pistol pushing up towards you, as if it were going to be a piercing weapon as much as a ranged weapon, looking to stick it directly in your chest, the bag cresting over the shoulder. There is a loud thud, followed by a small tink as the rocks compact in your bag until they hit your mess kit materials and small plateware that you had included for eating on the road. And you send Jamie reeling, quickly stumbling down off the roadside into the small embankment just a few feet, dazed, stumbling and out of sorts. You feel your shoulder squeezed and grabbed immediately as this much larger assailant from behind goes to pull you towards him. Unable to see or immediately react and defend yourself, I will say, Rose, is there an effort you intend to make here?
I think the half glance from Justin is enough to let me know he's doing something. I didn't necessarily expect that. But I'm going to, if the other one is far enough away, I'm gonna, I think, go into like some kind of feral state of mind, especially seeing Art just get murdered, and I'm going to try and jump on their back and wrap my arms around their neck and pull them off of Justin.
Okay. I'm going to say go ahead and make an effort to utilize your fitness for this. Climbing the mountain of a man, obstructing his intended purpose.
Fitness.
Yes.
Let's. I have 2. I'm also going to use a well prepared because trauma. I'm going to do it. So, it's 5
Okay.
with a well
So
prepared.
that's clearly enough to interfere, but Justin, as this massive hand crashes onto your shoulder, there is this brief moment in time, like slow motion, where you feel the point of a large knife poke into your back, directly underneath the ribs. There's this moment of shock that takes place in a split second, your brain processing, and it happens to coincide in this perfect concert of motion as Rose leaps onto the back of this larger assailant that sends him spinning and immediately pulls the very tip of the knife's pointed blade out of your back before dealing any significant damage. Seemingly Rose's interference enough to avoid a rather significant blow. But Jamie is trying to regain his focus in the trench. And as you see him still reeling, trying to get a sense for the surroundings and basically fix what is probably double vision at this point, I'm going to say, Josie, you actually hear from a distance now this burst of machine gun fire going off into the air as Rose and Justin see Jamie firing wildly as he begins to stand up and move towards his feet. This instinctual pull of the trigger mixed with a complete disorientation. But it's otherwise entirely out of it and disjointed. Justin having absolutely rocked his bell. But Cassidy gets up from Art, slowly turns to look at you. Well,
Drop
I
the
thought
gun.
we were, I don't know if we can be friends now, to be honest with you. Even if you are looking to be friends again. You playing games? Playing games. So what do we do about you?
Can I have a moment? Just tell him goodbye. Hands up. You can.
Yeah, why don't you turn around? Right now. And he raises his gun up to you.
How far away is he?
Like 15, 20 feet.
I'm gonna turn around.
You hear footsteps come up behind you. Another burst of automatic gunfire in the distance. At some vague approximation behind you, somewhere between 5 and 10-ish feet, you hear Cassidy's voice again. Walk into the woodline.
Can I just say goodbye to my... I'm gonna make a mental note of where I dropped the gun, assuming he doesn't pick it up.
Okay.
And I will glance back. So is he walking me in the opposite direction of the car?
Yes, at a slight reverse angle to where you are. Or where Rose and Justin are.
Shoot, Patoot. So walking to... Okay, I'm going to slowly start walking, very slow. I'm trying to kind of peek over my shoulder to get a gauge of what I can see of Justin and Rose. I know they're far away and it's dark, but I'm
I'm just trying to also not die.
Go ahead and make an effort to
So-
notice, please.
Okay. This is great. I'm having a really great time. You know what? I'm gonna argue. I'm gonna use my well prepared, and I'm going to knowing where the sound came from the and seeing the light from the machine gun. I'm going to
Okay.
let that kind of guide where I'm trying to focus my efforts in watching.
Sure.
Oh, okay, Josie. So, oh Lord, 18.
Okay. So with your hands up, just a side glance as you hear Cassidy yelling at you, telling you to face forward, you do get this sensation that as this large individual is spinning around with this much smaller Rose on his back, trying to provide some semblance of interference, Rose and Justin are in the middle of putting up a fight.
Okay. Well, they seem to be doing a lot better than me, so I'm gonna keep walking
Okay.
slowly.
As you move into the wood line, 10 more feet. That tree there in front of you.
If you're gonna kill me, you could just kill me here, right? You don't really.
I
still
told
walking.
you!
I'm still walking. I'm still walking.
I didn't want to kill you in the first place. We're all just trying to survive. Move to the tree.
I'm going to the tree.
Turn around.
I'll turn around.
He now has the gun out in one hand and is reaching behind him. Put your arms around the tree. Pulls out a pair of small plastic zip cuffs.
Okay. I mean, I will.
Holds the cuffs. Hands through. Come on. And you see him quickly tug down on each side to tighten them up, the plastic cutting into the skin a little bit.
Okay.
He lifts up his jacket, tucks the pistol away in his waistband. I told you. I ain't want to kill you. But now your friend's gonna have to do that for me. And probably about 30 or so feet away, you hear this as you see Art's form beginning to raise up off the road. Told you I didn't want it to be like this. Pulls the gun back out,
Oh, no.
fires a shot into the air. I say you learned your lesson, but I don't think you're going to get a chance to use it. And he begins to move away, also away from the car and roadside, as you see Arthur's now undead form snap. And begin taking steps in your direction. Rose and Justin, as you are in the process of this quick tussle, Jamie unleashing a spray of fire in your approximate direction, but so disoriented, unable to aim even. Rose, you are hanging on for dear life, literally on the back of this large individual's form, as Justin finishes the recoil of the slug, ducks and covers out of the way of the gunfire that was immediately put towards both of you. What would both of you like to do?
you have something immediate you want to do?
Go.
Okay. I am going to look at the guy who's just stabbed me. I'll just turn around, give him a quick glance, and just gonna have to try harder than that. And then I'm gonna run and dash at the guy with the gun with my bag of rocks.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go try to get a gun.
Okay. So as soon as you begin to move forward, it seems like Jamie's vision is clearing up a little bit. The disorientation only temporary. Still not super sharp and keen, and you can now see, even just moments later, some massive contusions and inflation taking place from the savage blow. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and make, I'll say this can be a effort to utilize your fitness, quickly covering ground and limiting the mobility of your assailant. Rose, as you see Justin begin to dart towards the road's edge, this large figure grabbing at his back eventually gets a handle on your upper collar and goes to try and flip you over. And almost as if you are cling peel pulled from a window, you go up and over in this perfectly fell swoop and slammed onto the roadway. Disoriented and dazed as well for a brief moment before his large form circles over to look at you face to face. Wielding the knife, places his massive form down on your chest with one hand.
Do I have time to kick him in the nuts?
You just couldn't listen.
That's all I can do.
I'm gonna say go ahead and make an effort to brawl. Yeah, make an effort to brawl.
Okay.
Justin, what was your effort for fitness?
That was a 10 on fitness.
Okay. Oh, also though, because of your gunshot wound, you are
Oh,
currently
yeah.
all brawling efforts are desperate.
Desperate? Okay. Are you all ready for this? Oh, that's only a 1, so...
So 1 total, okay.
Yeah.
So, Justin, as you charge forward, Jamie's focus is not where it needs to be. He's clearly dazed and disoriented. And you are able to get control of both of his hands, the fingers interlaced around the grip and within the trigger well of the actual machine pistol. But you seem to have a very authoritative command and control of his physicality, unable to target you effectively or react to your quick speed and aggression. What would you like to try and do?
I want to separate the firearm from him, pulling the firearm into my chest so that it can't be pointed at me, while I'm going to basically try to kick him away from me, twisting to break the grip. There's, I know that somewhere in the nearby vicinity, there is some kind of cliff face that I believe the car was initially destined for. Are we close enough to that where I could try to kick him off of the cliff face?
He is currently on the mountainside, so across the street is, or across the roadway is where, yeah.
That's fine. I will just try to kick him while twisting the gun away in order to break his hold on it and hopefully also leave him on the
Okay. I'm gonna say go ahead and make a effort to brawl with Jamie, who is just looking to gain control of the weapon at this point.
Okay. Was that a good oof or a bad oof? I got a 9 on my brawl.
Okay. So, as you gain control your physical form now controlling Jamie's positioning. You manage to move a knee up over his shoulder in this tight scrum, a quick blast to the side of his cheek, the same side that is now still swollen from the initial assault that you launched on him, causes his grip to loosen. His form completely dazed, and as you quickly rise from the ground and throw another clean kick directly across the side of his face, you see Jamie slump and fall. And as soon as you do, Josie, as you see Art's undead form beginning to shamble towards you, you hear the weapon fire stop. You hear some abstract grunting and groaning. You hear this abstract sense of maybe things are settling for a brief moment. And the forest fills with an unusual noise. A noise you haven't heard before, though it sounds similar to much of the Zerks. This popping breath. This loud, cacophonous noise that bounces off much of the trees. And then you hear this extremely loud cry out, followed by the loud, pounding, rhythmic footsteps. Like a locomotive, but from a distance. And in that unique moment, you also see Art lock eyes with you. And begin to turn and move almost the exact opposite direction.
Okay, just clarifying. Are my hands just bound in front of me?
Around a tree, yeah.
Around a tree. Okay, all right.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna try to do you said it was like zip tie, right? Zip tie
Correct.
shenanigans. I'm gonna try to break out of them. I'm gonna try to snap at least one so I can get my hands free. I'm gonna try to.
I'm gonna say make an effort using your raw physique.
I'm gonna go ahead and use well prepared on that.
Okay, as you do.
I've taken a few self-defense classes.
Naturally.
Y'all. 12.
Okay. So, Josie, as you hear this noise once again kick up from the forest nearby, there's this unsettling wind all around you. You know it's time to go. Focusing your mind, putting your hands together, using your body as leverage, you feel one of the cuffs that Cassidy tried to secure with one hand allowed you just enough flexibility, and you see one of them snap open. The other still maintaining grip, now very, very tightened on your wrist, but otherwise both hands mobile and usable. As soon as you begin to even take your first step forward, there's also something out of the ordinary and unusual. As you hear these noises begin to pick up and the roil of nearby undead clearly growing closer and closer, you see this small black case slowly drifting into view with a large red parachute attached to it. A large white colored symbol that looks like the letter A on top of it, though clearly stylized with a sextant seemingly as part of its crossbar. And a singular thumbprint lock that appears in the face of it with no other clasps, hinges, or components that you can easily recognize.
Okay. How far away is this Zerk sounding?
You're starting to hear the
Is it?
I'm gonna say you can make a raw acuity check on that
Okay.
there if you'd like to. Try to put some concentration into your efforts here.
5?
It's difficult to tell how far away it might be, but as you focused on the lumbering rhythm, you're getting the impression it's closer to Rose and Justin than it is to you. It's coming from that direction.
Oh God. Okay. And you said zombie art, Zerk art is walking away from me.
Correct, and seemingly headed towards Rose and Justin's direction now.
Do I see the gun?
On the roadside?
No, the gun that Art had.
It's tucked into his waistband, so it'd be relatively visible, sure.
I'm gonna check out this chest first. You said a thumbprint. I'll try to do a thumbprint. I'm guessing that's not gonna work, but I'm gonna try the thumbprint. Right?
The box has a small pad where clearly a fingerprint is meant to go. As you put it on there, you see it flash red twice, quickly light up green, and then a series of small LED lights from the fringe of this case light up as you see it almost automatically pop open and raise about 2 inches.
Assuming that Zerk art and what's his face aren't like coming back in my direction, I'm gonna quick what's inside?
There are it's a foam insert.
Okay.
It appears to have been cut and crafted to fit perfectly inside this crate. And more unusually, what appears to be a highly used, heavily used, somewhat worn, and hand-modified sawed-off shotgun is also perfectly sat in this open crate where the foam was cut out to facilitate the delivery of this particular weapon.
Got any bullets? I will check.
So,
Ain't making that mistake again.
as you unlock the barrel, it does have both shells full.
Okay,
Both
so got 2
barrels are
shells
full.
then. Okay. I want that gun from Art, but he seems to be ambling towards he seems to be ambling back towards where I want to go anyway. I would like to, if I can, as quietly and gracefully as possible, I would like to try to maneuver to get essentially past him without him like catching wind. So like take a little bit of a longer route, but do so quickly to try to get back up.
You have cliff face and some forest terrain kind of on one side, and then a mountain that kind of goes up on the other. So you can move through the tree line up until the cliff's edge, but you basically have to stick on the road around this bend.
Okay.
This area was probably chosen for its limited escape routes.
Absolutely.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try to get to Cassidy. I'm gonna try to get. I'm not ready to deal with the Art situation until that becomes a necessity.
What would you like
What
to
I would
do?
like to do. What I would like to do is I would like to. I'm changing my mind all the time. I would like to go up to the behind Art. Shotgun at the ready. I'm gonna try to, as gracefully and quickly as possible, I'm gonna try to get the gun.
Okay. Make an effort to employ your grace as much as possible here. Rose, this large knife looking to plunge directly down on top of you, Justin, just having gotten a handle on this machine pistol that you've wrestled away from one of your mountainous assailants. You and Rose, probably not with the exact same level of awareness given your two very different situations, but both of you also now hear the signature and howling scream that seems to be coming from the direction you previously just traveled only moments ago. Justin, what would you like to do?
This gentleman who I've just kicked again seems to be more or less down for the foreseeable future, yes?
Incapacitated, if not unconscious, but clearly dealing with some significant cranial trauma from multiple powerful blows.
Cool. I'm turning and running back towards where Rose is, weapon pointed at the individual on top of her, yelling, "Hands up! I will shoot you!"
So as you round the corner, you see this large arm reeling back. The initial windup for what is clearly looking to be a very definitive strike down towards our wonderful Rose. And as you see the hand reach its apex, as if it's about to come down, go ahead and make a make an effort to influence your assailant's course of action here.
Okay. Sure. May I use another well prepared on that?
Yes, I believe you have 3 with another one
I have
just added in.
Perfect. It's a 5.
You immediately see the hand plunging downwards. And Rose, right as it gets to the middle point of your chest, you see the hand stop. The individual looking through the corner of his eye. You shoot that gun, I'm gonna have no choice but to fall forward. And Rose, he repositions quickly to almost create this plunging position. So what's it gonna be, hero?
You're
How
free
you
to
wanna
stand
do
up.
this now, huh?
You're free to stand up and walk away.
Hmm.
I have no
Just
quarrel
like
with
that,
you.
huh?
I have no quarrel with you.
I'm gonna say make an effort to be diplomatic with this individual.
Sure. 12.
Rose, he grabs a tight fistful of your hair, quickly jerks your head to the side, moving the knife up towards your throat, before shifting his whole body and looking back at Justin. I mean, just like that. Bygones and bygones and all that.
I think you forget that 10 seconds ago we were joking. I have no quarrel with you. It's whatever those guys over there have figured out some kind of problem. But look, man, I wish you the best. I want you to walk away from this alive. I want him to walk away from this alive. I want to walk away from this alive. Let's all get out of here, you know?
Cassidy! Cassidy!
Yeah, he's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Who do you think fired that shot over there? Wasn't me.
You see thoughts tearing through his mind that seem to cause him a great deal of pain. Clearly, not used to thinking quite this much, and certainly not with this much weight behind it. Begins taking small steps sideways to just bring him and Rose around the edge of the car, trying to obscure most of his body.
Leave her where she is. You good?
Jamie, you all right?
He's taking a nap. He's fine. Might want to get a medic, but he's fine.
Joke. Medic. All right. I'll tell you what we'll do. You got the advantage. I got collateral. Put that gun away. Move towards the car and I'll let her go.
How about I stay here, you let her walk to me, between the two of us, and you were free to leave when we are standing side by
I'm
side.
not leaving my brother down here in the ditch.
Would you prefer to go check on him?
I don't want my hand to slip as I move over there.
I'm gonna trust you, and I'm gonna point the firearm up. Feel free to leave my friend alone and go check on your brother.
You now get a fresh whiff of this stale alcohol breathed directly over your shoulder, Rose, as he leans in. What do you think, love? It's gonna work out?
Yes.
I knew you were nice folk. Didn't have to be like this. You see him remove the blade from Rose's neck. Flips the grip upside down to this jabbing lunge reverse grip. Slowly begins moving sideways. Jamie! Jamie! And you now see him stirring briefly. What happened? Oh. Wasn't personal. We're all just trying to stay alive out here.
I know. If you want to help him up, be my guest.
Cassidy will kill you. Get out of here.
You want to help me
And
get the
you
chains off
see
this
him
car?
dive in. Stops for a brief moment, kind of looks back. Doesn't actually move towards the car. Goes off road, probably another 15 or so feet beyond where Jamie is lying in the ditch. Pulls this rock that seems wedged in this collection of the scattered debris and rocks that have tumbled down the mountainside before pulling a chain off of one of the P-Tods that clearly was placed in there beforehand. Cautiously comes back to the car. Bends down underneath without losing eye contact with you.
At this point, the gun's pointed at the ground.
Throws the rest of the chain on the ground behind the truck.
Thank you.
We can be friends, right?
I think we can. Hope he's all right.
See you around.
Take care of yourself.
Begins taking steps backwards to move towards the ditch, providing you now a gap, a window of about 20 or so feet.
I'm gonna put my hand on Rose's shoulder. Would you get the car turned around and ready to drive out here at a moment's notice, please?
And
Yes.
this loud, rhythmic locomotive footstep continues to grow and swell, followed by a piercing howl. And as you see the large, now brother of Jamie, moving back towards the road's edge, you see this humanoid figure leap from the upper crest of one of these cliff faces, probably 30 or so feet up. A figure the size of your assailant and then some. Lands in this crash that immediately strangles this huge form, collapsing him to the ground as these claws begin to shred and rip him apart.
Get in. Just get in.
The road behind you fills with a small silhouette of shambling masses as the screams of this creature have also drawn additional Zerk close within range.
Yep.
You hear Jamie scrambling. Oh, Chris, what's going on?
I have rethought my plan.
This Xercules immediately jumps over to where Jamie is, and this pink mist is sprayed across the mountainside as the form is decimated with this blow. And now, standing upright instead of being immediately hunched over, there is these fin-like blades that protrude from the forearms. Strange protrusions and pointed forms that stick out from the chest and shoulders. The hand smushes Jamie's face against the rock and immediately flattens like a marshmallow before this creature begins consuming Jamie almost in his entirety, with these handfuls of viscera flying everywhere.
So, when Rose told me to get in, I would like to run around to the opposite side of the car from where this creature is, and I'm gonna take my bag of rocks and I am gonna throw it in the opposite direction from us.
Okay.
Trying to lead this large creature away from where we currently are. And if this fails, I'm out.
Given the situation and the speed and ferocity with which this creature is moving, I would like for you to first make an effort to harness your grit, use your even mind in the moment, and come up with the wherewithal to put this elaborate plan together here.
Okay. So I'm fortunate that I do have special training for hasty, so I would like to use one of my well prepared and use that D6 die on that.
Okay.
Is this just straight grit?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good.
Or no, sorry. Focus. This would be your focus.
Oh, that is much better than my straight grit. All right.
Yes.
Haha. 9.
Okay. So you immediately give this bag a heave. Go ahead and make an effort to utilize your fitness for that as well. Quick, please. Rose, are you immediately
Another
just
9.
jumping into the car, or are you looking to do anything before you do so?
If he was like hand on shoulder, here are the keys, like get the car ready, I immediately, especially hearing all this going on, jump into the front seat. And I don't want to turn the car on because I do remember that makes them upset. And I can only imagine that the way the car is pointed, I can see Art shambling in our direction. So I'm just kind of in this frozen, like I'm waiting for whatever the next thing to happen is. I'm just kind of in this weird readied position.
Okay. So, Justin, as you heave the bag and hold still for a brief moment, just to get a gauge for the impact, is this T-Rex rules? Is this normal Zerk rules? What kind of foundation are you going to be dealing with here for a moment? The bag lands. The quick rumble and tumble of the rocks within the bottom of it draw the Zercules' gaze. You see it look, examining the bag for a brief moment. You see its head pick up, almost as if it's looking directly down the street at this approaching horde, before you see it very slowly turn. And begins to look towards you and Rose, seemingly not dissuaded by the audible distraction.
To be clear, right, I am on the opposite side of the vehicle so that I cannot be seen. My assumption is that Rose is inside of the car.
Okay.
I could be wrong about this, but my thought here is I'm drawing its attention away, but that neither of us are visible in this moment. If I'm misunderstanding that, let me know.
Gotcha. Well, with that being the case then, Rose, I'll say it's easy enough for you to slink down into the seat, maintaining a bit of extra cover, especially the interior of the vehicle. It's already dark. Justin, as you are on the outside of the vehicle, though, I would like for you to make an effort to utilize your deafness as you then see the Zercules turn and begin sprinting down the road towards where Cassidy and your fellow survivors had previously just been.
Sure. Specific check under deafness or just deafness in general?
Oh, sorry, this is Grace. Apologies.
It's all good. That is a 7 total.
Okay. Rose, you are startled and shocked as the entirety of your vehicle is rattled and thrown as, without adjusting its course whatsoever, the shoulder of this creature seems to rip through the back left corner of the framework of your car, seemingly inhibiting its own visibility, not maybe able to effectively hunt for the splittest of seconds as Justin avoids being pinned by the vehicle but also maintains positioning behind it, unnoticed. But the rear tail lights, rear windshield, rear driver's side door and window shattered and distended as this now approximately 9 or so foot tall Zerk begins sprinting down the street at full speed, moving at least as fast as you could probably top out at, as you see it continue to accelerate.
Cool.
Josie, as you pull out this shotgun from the small box, begin taking an eye out for where Cassidy might be, getting a lock on Arthur's position and beginning to move up directly behind. What was your grace roll?
8.
Okay. So, continuing to move up slowly, the drag of one of Arthur's feet providing the perfect opportunity to place a step in rhythm with the noise. This rhythmic cycle of lungs that want to function and a body that stopped using them, combined with this lack of coordination, allows you to sneak up in rhythm, gaining ground slowly until you finally get within range and reach just into the waistband and pull out the small pistol. And as you look up, you again hear this loud cry out as you watch this incredible creature, this massive Zerk, jump down from the mountainside and begin tearing through your assailants from the opposite side of the bridge. You don't immediately see Rose or Justin, both of them immediately out of view. You see a bag quickly cascade over the car to get at least a vague approximation now of where Justin might be coming from before he dips back below the cover of the car again. And you watch as the car is shunted, blasted from the backside, now 20 degrees off center from where it was just a moment ago, as this massive sprinting Zerk begins pushing down the road. What would you like to do?
I want to go the other direction. I'm on like a foresty line. What kind of forest is this? Can I climb any of these trees?
So there is forest line past where the barricade is. The barricade is placed directly where that cliff face starts. So it is purposefully designed so you can't run away into the tree line. So once you pass the barricade, it is cliff and mountainside. The forest line is back behind where that barricade would be, where Cassidy walked you back.
And that's where old boy's running to.
That's where Cassidy seemed to have ran off to, yep.
Where's Zerk boy headed?
Down the middle of the
Zerkules.
street.
Is that...
You're looking right at him.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm gonna work my way around Art, and all I have is a shot. Well, I got 2 guns now. The heat isn't gonna stop him. I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna aim the shotgun at him.
You probably have about 120 or so feet of distance when you first see this exchange take place. So are you looking to take a shot as soon as you see this Zerk, or are you waiting for it to get closer?
I don't want it to get too close, but I would really rather not risk missing. I also am can I scramble to get behind anything?
Arthur. Unless you're looking to literally turn and run back towards the barricade.
You know, it's fine. I got a gun now. I'm gonna run towards the barricade.
Okay. So, no longer concerned with stealth or looking to maintain any semblance of protection or undercover approach, you immediately turn and sprint and hear Arthur's undead Zerk form begin to take notice of your footsteps away. And as you are just looking over your shoulder trying to sprint towards the barricaded cars, go ahead and make an effort to harness all of your fitness for this moment.
I'm gonna use a well prepared fitness. Ugh. I'm running on adrenaline. Oh no. 8.
Okay. So it's not particularly long for you to move towards the barricade, but in a very differential sense compared to a lot of the Zerk that you've experienced so far, this Zerkules is not moving the same way, is not tracking quite the same way. And as you slam into the barricade to slow your momentum as abruptly as possible without losing speed before trying to scramble over the hood, you look back and see this Zerkules throwing a massive arm as Arthur's form is split in half. This Zerkules ripping directly through like an obstacle that is not there before charging directly at the barricade as it saw you disappear behind it. I'm going to need you to make an effort to endure a great impact here.
I'll use my last well prepared. Bracing for it. The 6.
Okay. As you see the upper portion of Art disappear and fly away, the Zerk continuing to push forward, no momentum lost, immediately ducking down behind the opposite side of a car, hearing the footsteps grow louder. There's a brief silence for a moment before this crashing thud of it actually landing blows into the barricade. The car you are hiding behind goes spinning. The screeching of tires immediately thrown forward in the road as you are cast into the side of the mountain face nearby. Immediately thrown and rocked. I'm going to need you to make a desperate effort to maintain focus. Justin and Rose, as you are finally scrambling into the car, a wave of Zerk now pushing up from behind you. A Zercules devastating the barricade in front of you as you see Josie's form plastered against the mountainside as one of the vehicles is flipped and spun from the bracer that seemingly held it in place for this barricade in the first place. What would you like to do?
So, to be clear, does that clear the road into Vegas?
You could squeeze a car through it.
Any
Depending.
sign of Josie?
She's cartooned up against the side of the mountain face, so you would definitely have seen that take place.
So, okay, so let me understand. I'm in the driver's seat. Justin is just outside of the car on the passenger side or on my side? Passenger side, right?
Passenger side, correct.
There's a horde coming from behind the car. We are now
Correct.
cattywampus in the road.
A little bit.
The Zerk went, she was like 120 feet that way.
Correct. And the Zercules has just blown up the main formation of this vehicle-based barricade in the road ahead. The spinning and throwing of the vehicle sending Josie flying, smashing into the side of the mountain that would be on the passenger side of the vehicle. Josie, on that note, what was your desperate effort to focus?
My desperate effort was a 6.
Okay. So as you see Josie slam into the side of the mountain, she immediately begins scrambling, trying to get to her feet, but is clearly dazed and hurt from the impact. So what would either of you like to do?
Get in the car. Get in the car.
Remind me, they are site-based primarily, right? Site-based?
Sight and noise.
Sight and noise. Okay, cool. I'm going to, as gingerly as possible, get into the car. And then I'm going to grab Rose's hand. And just crouch down and put my finger in front of my mouth to indicate that we need to be as silent as possible.
Okay.
Car's all bashed up.
Rose, what would you like to do?
They're gonna see us. They're gonna see us. How much gas was in the car when we pulled over?
You're probably pushing the very edge of 15 or so miles.
And we think we could squeeze through the barricade.
Be a squeeze, but yeah, probably.
It's just the back of the car that's messed up, right? The cab is fine,
Yeah.
except for the window.
Yeah, except for the window.
You have the gun, right? You have a gun that you took away from.
I have an automatic firearm.
I'm going to put the keys in the ignition, turn the car on, and head in the opposite direction.
The
Back towards
opposite
horde.
direction towards
Back
the
towards
horde.
Back the way we came. I'm gonna floor it and just go.
Okay, so the vehicle kicks to life, and you hear this horde continuing to row close in the narrow width of the roadway. Rose begins whipping this vehicle around as aggressively as possible, like a demon. The tires on the car now kicking up dirt and rocks on the upside of the mountain as you begin pushing directly towards this massive horde of creatures. What are you looking to do, Rose?
I'm gonna plow through them as best
What
I
are
can.
you doing, Rose?
I'm gonna plow through them as best I can. Get the gun out. Get the gun out.
We can't take all of them.
We have to.
So you're now looking forward. There's going to be upwards of a few dozen, probably, spanning the roadway. It would be difficult for you to take out all of them, to be sure. And I'd probably have to get a gauge for the overall summary condition of the vehicle. But go ahead and make a effort to focus on your task and control the vehicle.
Focus.
Okay.
Oh my god.
If Rose wants to go through them, I will roll down the window just a little bit to shoot out with the machine pistol and try to clear the center of the path through the Zerk. I'm
Okay.
aiming very narrow back and forth.
I would like Justin, make 2 separate efforts to be accurate in this instance. Because
All right.
I got some very interesting ones on my end here too. But as you hear the gas begin to slam down, Rose covering the last 50 or so feet, moving towards this large horde. Rose, what did you get?
16. With a well prepared.
Okay. And Justin?
I am just spraying and praying. It's a 5 and a 4.
Okay. So immediately this huge collection of bodies bouncing off the front of the vehicle, separating off in this huge slump. One of them, like a cow catcher on the front of the vehicle, taking the legs out of this Zerk before sending its upper body directly through the windshield. Justin, your spray, trying to avoid tinnitus and keeping the pistol aimed somewhat out the window, you have a lot of difficulty adjusting and send one round through the front of the windshield, but the upper torso, about in this diagonal line of this Zerk, is now reaching through, clawing at both you and Rose, as it has lodged itself in the safety breakaway portion of the windshield as Rose continues to accelerate. Rose, I'm going to say I need you now to focus on not crashing.
Sure. That's a
And
fair-
Justin,
that's a fair
you can tell me how you'd like to address said windshield Zerk.
I am not wearing a seatbelt. Don't do this at home, kids. And I am just gonna full, just as much effort as I can behind a massive kick. Just try to launch it off of the vehicle.
Okay. Rose, what was your effort to focus?
So focus, I'm gonna use another roll prepared because I have a bunch of these. So 12.
Okay. And Justin, for you, I'll let you use fitness or brawling given the tight quarters here.
I would very much love to use fitness. Thank you. That is an 8.
An 8. Okay. So as you throw this big thrust forward, connecting clean with the front of the Zerk, trying to force it back through the windshield, its legs not able to stabilize it whatsoever, as one of them is more or less folded the wrong way, the other one now immediately missing behind the car somewhere. No real opportunity for leverage, as one hand is simply clawing erratically at your collected forms. But you do seem to pry it back through the interior portion of the windshield before you send it tumbling and rolling off. I'll say that you did more or less disintegrate the approximate middle third of this Zerk horde that was pushing back towards you, that you seem to have blasted through. But now you have a horde between you and Josie and the Zercules. So, Josie, as this horde now begins pushing towards you, the revving of the engine kicking up, providing this momentary semblance of hope and salvation. You see it flip around in the street, turn, and mow through Zerk, leaving you behind. What would you like to do?
Where is the Zercules?
It is probably about 30 or so feet on a diagonal to you, having just plowed through the barricade.
Does it seem to notice me?
Not at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it that way. I'm just gonna try to be super, super quiet. I'm gonna try to position myself where I am less noticeable, if not kind of obscured entirely from the horde. If as much as I can, I'll risk some tricky steps to do this, and I'm just gonna focus on being as absolutely silent as I can. And I'm just
I'm gonna say make an effort to be graceful.
Okay.
In the most desperate of circumstances here.
Oh, well, that's gonna be a 3.
Okay. So as you begin stumbling to your feet, locking eyes with where the Zercules position is, seeing one of what you could have swore were 2 illuminated taillights when you first arrived at this temporary waypoint. A hole in the Zerk, this slight red illumination of the remaining functional taillight, casting this backlighting shadow on the Zerk horde that now has a modular swath cut out of it. You begin slowly trying to make your way to the roadside, looking to cut in somewhere where there is safety or protection or something in the way of cover. And as you take that first step, you hear from down the road, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
This blast of gunfire begins ringing out from the opposite direction as you see the Zercules looking into the roadway before leaping up again, a vertical of 12, 15 feet. This massive leap, spring-loaded power built into this creature before you watch Cassidy's form crumble under this landing Zercules. And again, there is this spray of clothes and Cassidy in some errant combination or mixture that you see the Zercules dive into face first for a brief moment. Begin to take your first step, in the rock that you place your foot on, the very angled edge of the road, comes out of the small collection of dirt where that rock had eventually gathered, and you hear it land as it rolls down the ditchway. The Zercules begins sprinting directly at you. What would you like to do?
I got the. I'm gonna fire the shotgun. I mean, that's all. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to not die here. I'm gonna fire the shotgun as fast. I don't know how. I don't know. I'm firing the shotgun.
Okay. Make an accuracy effort here. Rose and Justin. As you begin to hear small arms fire ring out from the road less traveled behind you now, what would you like to do?
Don't run any more over. I think bottom of the car can only take so much.
I'm like knuckle white, gripped on the wheel, flooring it, trying to get as far away from here as possible.
Okay.
I don't know who the gun is. I don't know who's firing the gun. I could not care less.
Okay. Justin, what are you doing?
Just gonna toss a look behind us. Can I see what's going on?
The shambling mass of Zerk is beginning to close in and organically fill some of the gaps in their loose, unofficial formation. The bodies of the Zerk directly behind, having been splayed and sprayed all over from Rose's driving, now behind them, they fill in organically like water through a sieve as they begin to fill and flank a much thinner now, but still wide as you see the silhouette begin to close on the road. Make an effort to notice now details at some great distance.
It's only a 4.
Okay. Wherever Josie is, she was last seen near this rather large Zerk that you can still see thrashing at some 200 or so feet away. And that's the best estimation that you have for the moment.
Probably not the time to go and get Josie right now. Probably not. It seems like it's dangerous right there specifically.
Josie, what was your accuracy roll?
My accuracy roll was a 12.
Okay. Now in much closer distance, this spray from a purposefully designed wide pattern shotgun sees you bear down as it begins charging forward and letting out this large shotgun blast. And as it is sprinting towards you, it almost goes to make this leap again, the preferred methodology of pouncing on its prey from close proximity. And as this round fires off, it's already taken off into the air. Rather than focused on the headshot damage that you've been conditioned and trained and heard and focused on, you catch it in the hip as this shot rings out that actually sends the Hercules circling in this spiral as it cascades through the air, landing right next to you almost.
Oh God. Oh.
There's this large cut of damage. I'm going to actually say make an effort to notice
Okay.
in a desperate situation here as well.
Okay.
Presuming you're not looking to examine it up close casually at this point.
No. But I'm gonna use another well prepared and see if that can help. Oh. Notice. Okay. 8.
Okay. The shotgun blast did some significant damage.
Okay.
The edges and fraying, though, where the actual blast of shotgun spray hit the Xercules, there's this crackling edge around it. This, like a crumbling ice cream cone of small, thin, rocky material. The exterior of its skin hardened to this shell, but the inside seems to be hard tissue. This Xercules, whatever strain or variation it is, it's changed the entirety of its form. Bigger, stronger, but also the muscle and sinew underneath clearly not sustaining quite as much damage based on the overall protection of its exterior form. So what are you doing as this creature lands directly next to you?
I'm gonna try to scramble awkwardly, kind of like boot scooch away. I'm gonna try to shoot him again, but I'm gonna try this time. Now that he's a little closer, I'm gonna aim for the head. I mean, I know it's a different kind of shot, but I'm aiming upper torso, head.
Okay, I'm gonna say go ahead and make an effort to accurately target your assailant's vulnerabilities.
Okay. 13.
Okay. This massive kick as you discharge the shotgun's last included shell. Just at the tail end of your scattered departure, Justin and Rose, you hear a loud shotgun ring out. And Josie, you see this portions of its face and head sheared away by the blast, this definitive evisceration of much of its upper body and form as it begins to flail erratically, looking to get a swipe on you.
Okay.
Already working its way to its feet, though now probably only with the function of one eye and some kind of destroyed sense of perception. It is clearly hurt to some extent, but the impression you've gotten thus far is Zerk very much seemed to be on or off rather than a scaling degradation more so. And despite maybe not having the exact same awareness, it's still very much looking to pursue its prey in this instance. As you move to try and separate yourself, though, on the back seat of this car that is now spun and tipped as part of the original barricades formation, there is a small red lunchbox that you see directly outside the window that joins what would be the passenger side window and the rear windshield. The small little triangular cut on some sedan models. And poking just out of it as this car is shifted slightly on its side is this red lunchbox. And it appears to have a piece of blue painter's tape directly across the front of it. As you're able to move around the vehicle, looking to separate yourself from this Xercules, you see that there is large black letters written on the painter's tape. Just in case.
Yeah, we're gonna open that real quick. I'm gonna grab it and go. It's a fluid, and the shot. I'm gonna hold on to the shotgun as long as I can, but that might have to just get dropped for a hot minute. But I'm going into lunch. What's inside?
So as you open it up, it appears to be 2 small anti-personnel fragmentation grenades.
Okay. I'm gonna. So at this point in my efforts to get away, am I running towards where the car was coming from, or am I running further if I'm trying to get away, am I running towards? Can I run away from the Xercules without running straight into the horde at this
Yes.
point?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna try to start making my way. I'm hoping that Justin and Rose might come back for me. But if nothing else, they've at least kind of cleared a path. So I'm just gonna try to go that way and at least give myself a little bit of distance from Big Boy.
So the Xercules and the horde are on one side of the barricade.
Okay.
And so you're either running past the Xercules and through the horde, or you're running away from all of them. And where where Rose and Justin were driving.
Oh, well, I want to go that way. I want to go away. Actually, you know what? Let's just throw one at the horde while we're running. Keep them out. Actually, before we do that, how close are they?
They're still probably a good 60 or so feet away.
Okay, I'm pretty quick at these things. Can't believe I'm doing this. I would like to take a picture of this Hercules. I've never seen it. I've never heard of it.
Okay.
But what I would like to, do I know how the timing works on these grenade boot? Like, is it like a...
Would Josie have a reason or any experience with fragmentation grenades? Then I'm gonna say you understand the basic mechanics. Pull the pin and it explodes at some point.
Cool. Well, then I'm gonna throw that before I take the picture. So hopefully I can sneak a picture before it explodes. But then once they see because I have to have the flash on, once I can get the picture of this Hercules, nobody's seen it. Stop giving me those looks. Once I can get the picture, I'm gonna start running for whatever good that'll do me. Throw, click, run.
Sure. I'm gonna need you to make an effort to focus on this array of tasks and individual executions, as it were. And as part of that throw,
Sure.
especially if you're trying to stabilize your heart rate being up, your movement erratic, your form jostled and jarred from being thrown away from the barricade, I'm going to say you also have to make a desperate effort using your fitness in this circumstance.
My eyes are on the prize. I'm going to use my last well prepared. Do it again, hopefully compensate. Okay. Focus, right? 8.
Okay. So, pull the pin, throw the grenade. Hope it's as easy as that. Quickly grab the camera from your neck, square up the perfect shot for your Zerk, snap a picture, and turn to begin sprinting away. As quick and as skillful as you were with such effort. The Xercules is singularly minded and very good at what it does in specific. And seeing you turn to run away, shocked and alerted both at the same time by this blinding flash, it does this lunging jump towards you yet again as it seeks to take a clawing swipe at you, almost extending its body, diving to the ground to swipe at your retreating form. The immediate pain is definitive. A perfect numbness at first, followed by a piercing influence of all of your nerve endings, the left side of your lower body lighting up all at once. The claws of the Xercules passing directly back through your calf muscle, causing significant damage as it scrambles to gain a sense of its surroundings. Your lower leg is significantly damaged. You're immediately losing a considerable amount of blood as 2 of these swipes seem to have cut clean into the muscle of your leg. Josie, please make an infection roll. Okay. You gain a hindrance. All of your fitness efforts will be made in desperation. You are no longer able to move at full speed on foot. This Xercules still clawing at the edge of this barricaded car that it had already thrown. The horde and this Xercules beginning to right itself as if it is going to pursue and chase you down. What are you looking to do, Josie?
I got a pistol. I'm gonna limp away. I'm gonna try to get a headshot while slowly limping away. I mean, if I can't get this shot off, that's not gonna matter anyway. So
you do receive an additional well prepared.
Okay.
I'll need
Thank you.
you to make an effort for me to utilize your greatest level of accuracy possible.
I'm gonna use my well prepared. That will be 12.
Okay. As you fire off the shot, you target the soft, pre-existing exposed portion of this Xercules. Sends it reeling backwards. It crashes to the ground. The cars nearby jostle and elevate. Its thick, titanous form impacting the roadway with extreme force. It lies still in the ground in front of you, only for a moment, as you see its arm twitching. Not righting itself with the same speed or verve. But at this point, the horde begins to overtake the Xercules' position, and just 20 or so feet away, these oncoming Zerk, probably a couple dozen now in total, are parted by this Xercules like a stone in a stream before moving towards you, filling the gaps and spaces in these openings through the barricade. What would you like to do?
So based on how my movement was in the very brief bit of movement I took, do I get the indication that this horde is going to very quickly outpace me? Because they're shambling
they're not able
more,
to sprint, but they can
Sure.
move as fast as you.
Okay.
And they're not going to tire.
I'm gonna take as many pictures as I can. I'll take as many as I can of the Zircules. And when the Zerk start getting particularly close, I'm gonna take the camera and I'm gonna throw it as far away as I can. I hope that it maintains some semblance of togetherness. And I'll pull the second pin.
Josie. As the horde begins to move within range and the batteries in your camera begin to dwindle, the shutter itself slowing as the click of its shutter drifts just slightly, a sensitivity only you could recognize. The telltale indications that your last photo has been taken before casting it aside and pulling out your remaining grenade. What are your last words?
I'm going to look towards the camera. I'm going to look up towards the road where I'm hoping at some point Rose and Justin will come back, even if it wasn't soon enough. I'll stare at the camera for a long minute and make it count.
I was always a creator. Always liked freezing moments in time with pictures. When the world went to shit, it felt important to document what was happening. The fear, the hopelessness, the rare brief moments of joy. I wanted my work to have an impact, to show what words could never capture. I don't know if I achieved that. I guess I never will. I just hope my work gets into the right hands. I hope it gives insight. I hope it means something. Please let it mean something. My name is Josie Myers, and this is where I leave you.
For those of you out there surviving, stay safe. Stay alive.